better than I can. You'll see our office and you'll see where we're based. Before I do that, I'm just going to adjust a couple of settings here, which will allow for better video sharing. So if I can share my sound, and I'm going to optimize video clip. So here's a brief introduction of my company, Amplify Trading, and what we do and why I think it will be a great summer with York from June the 28th.
Welcome to Amplify. Our innovative technology and deep fundamental market knowledge helps to develop the traders here on our trading floor, as well as some of the most sought after candidates for investment banks, hedge funds and asset managers worldwide.
Hopefully that gave you a brief intro of our trading floor over in London, but it's very much not just trading that we do. The technology that we develop is suitable for any type of role in finance that you might be interested in. So very often we work with business students, students studying accounting, students studying economics, students studying more general management, who might not yet be certain, what is the role that I want to take in my career? So a big driver for me is to try and help students rotate through different types of roles. So corporate finance, accounting, markets, asset management, to try and find the right type of role for you. So to explain how that technology works, I've got another short video clip with you, which I hope can give you the right idea. So what you could see, I'll just wait for it to finish. What you could see on that video was the student Renata was taking the different simulations as she progresses through our training, and she got to experience what it was like to work in asset management. She got to experience what it was like to work in corporate finance or mergers and acquisitions. And the platform, the simulation platform that we've built, was then able to tell her where her strengths are. Now, this is something that's really personal to me because going back 20 years, I didn't know what role in finance was right for me. I was very fortunate to actually secure a role in markets, and that's what I've been able to develop from then. But what I've seen, especially over the last few years with new students, is many students think they might want to go into banking, for example, and then find out that's not the best role for them. You might not know this, but there's a 40% turnover rate in the first 3 years with the investment banking industry. So hundreds of thousands of students apply to Goldman Sachs or apply to Bank of America or apply to the Bank of China to take a role that they think they want to take. But actually, is that the right role for you? Is that where you're going to really let your performance meet your potential? Secondly, I believe that if you gain a really good practical experience in finance, you're much more likely to secure a role, the role that you're looking for when you graduate. So let me share my screen again. I'm going to talk specifically about the bootcamp here for York, which we've prepared. So here you can see a student using one of the simulations that we created. When you take this bootcamp with us this summer, It's going to be a very different experience to what you might have been used to learning online. This is completely different. You're going to be using these simulations, which are the same this summer, just as an example. This summer, we're delivering this simulation to Citadel worldwide, so the world's largest automated trading company, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, Citigroup. They're all integrating these simulations over their internship program. So it's not online learning, it's actually online doing. It's a big, big part of what we're doing here to rotate you through these different simulations and different financial roles. Here, you can see senior traders at the Bank of China who use our simulations in order to train their graduates, but as I mentioned, also further train their senior hires. Absolutely possible in Mandarin. The platform can take any language. Here's just an example. Okay, so hopefully you could see, they were there on the computers, they're talking to each other, it's a collaborative way to learn, and it's going to be exactly the same with you guys. No matter where you are or where you're based, this 5 days of intense practical experience, you're going to be working in these roles, doing the same thing that the traders at the Bank of China are doing. The days are going to fly by, and it's going to be a key cornerstone of your CV. I cannot iterate to you enough what an impact this can make on your future in finance. So what's our objective? It's to help students actually experience roles in finance, the realities of working in the industry. It's to give you role-specific training. What's the difference between a trader and a broker and someone working in a merger and acquisition or an IPO? Very different types of roles, very different types of people tend to perform well in those roles. Which one are you? Our simulations will provide you with performance data that can tell you and guide you where you should make your applications on graduation from York. An example of one of the platforms, our most famous simulation, is called the Market Maker simulation, which is where you're rotating through separate investment bank roles. Okay, this is exactly what a trader or someone working for an investment bank trading floor would do. I have another short clip here just to show you a recording of me delivering one of these sessions. And you can see just what takes place and how it works. So if I just share my other screen here. As a hedge fund, I want to find out which one of you sales traders, who's operating as an investment bank that's going to be able to send me some tasty Apple shares. I want 50,000, please. I'm going to message a couple of you, see if you can send me a price for Apple 50,000. And I'd like to then measure who's got the best price for me to execute on as a hedge fund. Now, remember what you learned with the sessions this morning. If you're an investment bank and you have a position, wow, how that was fast. Well done. Look at that. 149 to 152 for Apple. Well, the news about the new operating system is definitely bullish for the stock. So for me, I'm definitely going to execute on that order. How? Thank you. So I've been able to buy that for 152. Compared to what I would get in the exchange, I'd be looking at 173. That's 173 in the exchange, but instead of going through the exchange, I got the price from How at 152. And hopefully, look, with the sessions that we've covered with you throughout the week at the university. Okay, so you can see there, I was actually interacting directly with the students as they were making prices and they were communicating with me. How was one of the students there that gave me a fantastic price that was better than what I could get in the exchange. He was operating as an investment bank, I was operating as a hedge fund, and in that way I was rotated through different roles to really understand what's the difference between someone that works on the buy side and the sell side, for example. It's really important to try and understand the industry and how it works and the different types of industry in the industry. Just an example, you may not know this about London, but that's where I am at the moment. I'm speaking to you from London. If I just draw out London here as an example, this is the River Thames. Have most of you been to London? I assume you probably have done at some point. So this is the River Thames, okay? And then here, where you have all the skyscrapers, you've got all the tallest buildings here. Does anyone know what this area is called in the east of London? Like this. This is where all the banks are. Okay, so this is where you've got JP Morgan. This is where you've got Bank of America. This is where you've got Barclays. This is where you've got Morgan Stanley. They're all based over here in this area of the city. So Morgan Stanley, everyone of that type of. Oh, you can't see the drawing. Thank you very much, Fabian. Probably good. Morgan Stanley. So what I've done here is I've just drawn London, right? I've drawn the River Thames. Now on the east of London, you've got all the skyscrapers in the River Thames. You guys remember? Now around London Bridge, you've got the Square Mile. Yeah. And so here you've got the Square Mile where you have more traditional types of financial firms. Okay. So here you might have, for example, Lloyd's of London. You heard of Lloyd's? Lloyd's of London. Or you might have insurance companies. Okay, you might have, for example, Swiss Re. Or you might have asset management companies like Pictet Asset Management, for example. Okay, so that's the city of London is split out like that. But then over to the west, I'm not sure if you guys have been here over to the west. This is where you have all the hedge funds. Right? This is where you might have, for example, Man Group, or this is where you might have, for example, Brevan Howard. Brevan Howard. Have you heard of these companies? These are some of the largest hedge funds in the world, right? Now, what's interesting about this, just to tell you about how London works and the sell side and the buy side. All the companies over in the east of London, these are on the sell side. These are the banks on the sell side. But the companies over on the west of London, these hedge funds, they're on the buy side. And then in the city of London, which is this small patch here, you kind of have different types of firms, but mostly more about insurance, for example. So what's interesting to know is that if you're going to work on the sell side, if you're going to work on the sell side, that's a very, very, very different job to working on the buy side. Yeah, it's a very, very, very different type of work, different type of industry, working on the sell side to the buy side. And it's going to be my ambition to use simulations for you to be able to find out not only what side of the industry do you want to work in, but what type of firm would better suit you. And then inside that type of firm, what type of role is going to suit you inside that firm. Does that make sense? That's going to be my ambition over this 5-day program, to rotate you through these experiences. So you're going to be able to experience for yourself what role is right for you. And then when you put this on your CV, you're going to be able to actually secure that role. Does that make sense? Any questions as I go along, please do type in the chat. I've just typed in the chat as well. Super open to talk about anything that you guys would like to talk about. So do just let me know. So there's a simulation example. And remember, this is 5 days from the 28th of June. Now, here's something else. When we deliver this type of program to an investment bank, for example, some of our contracts go into the hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's very expensive. We also offer this type of program to individual students, but those students have to pay £2,600 each. The University of York is providing you this experience for free. The University of York is covering all of your fees for this level 5 accredited program, which hundreds of students all around the world have to pay thousands for. I am phenomenally impressed that York are doing this. It's outstanding that they're going out of their way to ensure that when you leave the University of York, you're going to have everything you need to secure your role in finance. So please make sure you take this opportunity. The events that we run, as I hope you can tell from this brief presentation, are interactive, they're engaging, they get phenomenal feedback. This is very common. I learned more in just 4 days than I did throughout 4 years. The practical experience was invaluable. It's an excellent, excellent session. The impact, As you go through our simulations, you'll be able to share your performance online in different types of roles. You'll be able to tag the banks that will be backing this session. We work, as I said, very closely with the Bank of China. I'll be asking them to join one of these sessions. I really believe it's going to be the highlight of your summer. The impact, we've had people go to quantamental hedge funds such as D.E. Shaw, Bin Zhao after taking the session. Prior to the experience of Amplify, I had no clue what finance was really about. But after that, I became passionate about financial markets. And so he's now at D.E. Shaw, one of the world's largest hedge funds. Morgan Stanley, they love students that have taken this simulation. We were recruited for the best innovation in student recruitment in 2019. BlackRock on the asset management side, again, it has a direct impact on all of these types of candidates and all of these types of institutions. So don't miss out. It's being provided to you for 5 days by the University of York. You're going to have me and my team deliver what I think will be a very different type of experience online to what you might have experienced already. And let me just talk a little bit about the day by day then. Exactly what will you be covering and when? And as I said, guys, if you're in the chat room, send me some questions. Anything you want to ask, send it my way. So this is what I've designed for you. This is what we're going to be delivering in York from June the 28th. We're going to be helping you find your future in finance. And here I obviously talk about some of our leading clients that use these same simulations. On the first day, I'm going to be taking you through our app, which is called Retrader, which is going to help you retrade the main market moves of today. So does anyone know what happened last night in the United States? I'm just checking some prices now. What was an event that happened last night in America? Does anyone know? Had a big, big impact on global markets. It's very important. Well, the United States communicated their interest rate level, but also what they're going to do with interest rates in the future. And so last night, you had the Central Bank of the United States say that they're not going to move interest rates higher until 2024. Now, that's really big news. That's big news. It doesn't matter in what area of finance you work. That's huge news because it means the cost of money has changed. Do we have any accountants in this room? You're probably looking at the cost of money, interest payment, or you're deducting interest payments or interest receivables. You know, this is all impacting the cost of money. So it's very important what happened last night. So I'm going to be asking you to retrade some of those major events to understand why it's important. And we're going to be moving you to asset management. Then you're going to be taking the investment bank simulation. So if you feel like you might want to work for an investment bank, that's going to be a very important simulation to take. Then on Wednesday, I'm going to take you onto live markets, okay? Now, this is all about psychology of risk, psychology of pressure. Do you need any kind of experience, Fernanda is asking? None at all, Fernanda. I'm going to be delivering this to you, assuming we're starting right from square one, okay? Right from the beginning. Now, what everybody will also get, so sign up for the bootcamp as soon as you can, because when you do, I'll be giving you the online portal so you can access all the learning material that you need should you feel a bit nervous. So we've got a great online portal that gives you pre-learning, access to all of our pre-learning for you to go through. Okay, good question, Fernanda. Thank you for asking. But yeah, don't need any experience at all. By the end of this week, I think you'll be amazed by how much you learn. And actually, one of the reasons why we are allowed to award a level 5 certification for this is because you're actually applying what you're learning. So live market trading in day 3, and this is a lot about your psychology, how you manage risk. Day 4, this is really focusing on accounting and finance, how do valuations and how does, if you like, metrics get used to value a company when looking at things like discounted cash flow, when looking at things like future earnings, when looking at things like revenue growth, how do you value a firm and then take it onto an IPO? So I know in China, everybody's IPOing at the moment. What does an IPO actually mean? I'm going to be taking you guys through that. And then on the final day, we're going to be helping you automate your trading process. So again, You need no programming experience at all. I'm assuming none of you can get code in Python. This session is going to be showing you how even a basic understanding of Python can give you the tools that you need to see how technology is changing the future of finance. Again, this is going to be a pure ticket winner. It's going to be a really good event. Yeah, it really makes an impact on your CV. It makes a huge impact on your CV. Okay, so there's the 5 days. As you rotate through the program, you're going to be receiving performance data, of course, but you're also going to be getting your level 5 certificate from the London Institute of Banking and Finance. And just to look at my LinkedIn, for example, I can see previous students talking about it. Well, actually here, these candidates are just getting a level 4. You'll be getting a level 5, okay? Not a level 4, but a level 5. And I can see candidates talking about it. I can see them talking about their experience here. So here you've got a mathematics student at LSE, Minnesota, taking some of our simulations, joining for a boot camp. I'm obviously very, very proud of how she's done and what she's done. So I want you to be able to use your Amplify experience to secure your future in finance after leaving York. As I've mentioned already, this is normally over £2,000 that each student has to pay to receive this type of simulation, and you're going to be receiving it for free. This is the same type of technology that's used by all the leading global banks worldwide. Okay, so I hope you found that a useful introduction. What I'd like to do now is open to any questions. If you're, it was great, Fernanda, to have your question about the, do you need any prior experience? No. Just to answer another question that was messaged to me, do you need any technology? All you need is a laptop and an internet connection, okay? So all you need is a laptop and an internet connection. You were asking about timing. Somebody else is just messaging me. As you can see, it's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. Okay, so 10 a.m. London time to 4 p.m. You can log in from all over the world. Obviously, you're studying here in the UK, so everyone's English will be fine, but I do have an office in Shanghai. I've got a growing team over there run by Xiaoyu Zhang, so he'll be joining me for some of the sessions as well. So happy to have sessions in different languages if needed. And that's it, really. I mean, it really is been a phenomenal success story. Just to tell you a bit more about Amplify then, we have a team of over 40 people worldwide. I've got offices here in London and in Shanghai, as I've mentioned. The tech is used by global institutions, which means it carries a lot of weight when you use it on your CV. You'll be being a marketing student, will it be beneficial to you too? Hi, Manchester, absolutely. So one of the interesting things about marketing is understanding what's going on in the environment around you as well. What are the opportunities out there? And one of the main things about working with markets in this way is it's so connected to current trends and themes, whether it's politics, whether it's retail. I think you'll find it incredibly interesting and a huge advantage. So Mancha, great question. Thank you for asking. Okay. Anyone else with any questions at all? So we've covered with marketing students, technology you don't need. One thing I would recommend actually, if you want to find out a bit more about Amplify and what we do, then join our channel. Here's our YouTube channel to which you can subscribe. And you can see every morning, my head of markets, Anthony Chung, will be delivering a session
really for the markets. There were other things.
Well, here's Anthony Chung, my head of markets here. He's talking about what happened last night, about interest rates, for example. And then he'll be talking about the move and what it means. This is all about not only understanding the world around you, a lot of this is politics as well. NHS warns in a reduction of vaccine supplies, you probably heard today. But it's about understanding what it means for markets. Here we're looking at COVID vaccines, obviously. Then we're talking about the Bank of England. So a lot about being able to work in finance. Yes, you need to understand your accounting. You need to understand your ratios. You need to understand, the numbers. But you also need to understand why. Why is it important to be able to value a company? Why is it important to be able to understand the cost of money and interest rates? Here, we're talking about the Bank of England. And it's those types of themes that if you can discuss about them in an interview, then you'll be absolutely set. Just having a look at some of the students that have taken this session and what they've gone on to do, you can see we've had students take it going on to Deutsche Bank, going on to Credit Suisse, going on to private equity. Actually, here's a candidate that's gone on to real estate with the Bank of China. Sorry, real estate. Who's he gone on with real estate with? Yeah, Bank of Canada. So many success stories from students that have taken this training and been able to then further use it to secure the role. So we've got Morgan Stanley, sales and trading. So Tiffany, this was then delivered from our Shanghai office, and now she's working at Morgan Stanley in Hong Kong. Huge amount of success stories, and I can't wait to help you secure yours. Okay, well, listen, I really look forward to it. Let everybody know that this is free, provided by York. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't do it. Level 5 certified, goes on your CV. And all being well, I look forward to seeing you guys in the summer. So unless there's any further questions at all, I'm gonna move on. So Erica, to register for the trading, you need to let Fabian know. So Fabian, I assume, will be sending out a link for you to register for the training. So keep an eye out for that. But actually, where's the chat room again? Sorry. Here's his email if you don't have it. I'm sure he'd be happy for you to email him directly. The other thing I would like to say, and thanks, Erica, thank you for asking. That's quite a big question. How do I register? The other thing I would like to do, guys, is ask you to connect with me on LinkedIn. You know, you'll be able to see a lot about what we do at Amplify, and I'll be sharing ideas and thoughts in here. So please feel free to connect with me. Here's my profile. Obviously, using LinkedIn is a big, big part of getting yourself out there and telling people about your experiences. Okay, everybody. So listen, thank you so much for joining me. My name is William DeLucy. I founded Amplify Trading 12 years ago now. I'm CEO and Managing Director of the firm. I'm really happy to be working with so many students from York, and I look forward to seeing you in the summer. June the 28th, make sure you register. Fantastic that York is providing this for you. Don't miss your opportunity. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining, Erica. Thanks for joining, Saita, Jailin, Yalin, Mancha. Thank you very much, Fernanda, for your question. If there's no more questions, I'm going to move. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you in the summer. Take care. June 28th. June 28th. See you then. Bye-bye.